What up, internet? My name is JB, and we are back here today with my week 2 team builder part of the video for the PBL, or Professional Battlers League. This week we are taking on the Minnesota Lycnarocs, coached by Cryptic Flash, so go check his channel out in the description. I'm sure his POV of this battle will be fantastic, so make sure to go check it out. Getting into the team I brought, though, well, actually, before we do that, I want to talk about the trade I made this week. I decided to drop Umbreon for Bronzong, which I decided to nickname LeBronzong. Likes appreciated for the pun. You guys know the drill. Anyway, so the main reason I did this is, my team was kind of good against fairies. I had Excadrill and Victini as, fairy resistances, but, I wanted like a more dedicated, like, defensive steel type. Even like when you invest in defenses, Excadrill still dies to hits like it shouldn't die to, that you would be investing for. Its HP is good, but it's just not the best. Like, you don't really like expect to live hits with your Excadrill when you're bringing it to live hits. So I wanted like a defensive steel type mainly, and then Victini just take a little bit of defensive pressure off it for resisting fairy hits. So and it's just Bronzong's a nice mon. It fits into most teams, like most weeks if you need to bring it in. It's just all around a good Pokemon. Thought it'd be a great fit for the team. The only thing I'm really missing out on Umbreon is like wish passing, but hey, I'd rather pass up wish passing and have like better team synergy with Bronzong. Better, like, I don't know, it just felt like it was a better option for the team. This is the main reason why. So getting into Flash's team, it's actually one of the more well put together teams I've ever prepped for in a league. It just has all those necessary like cores or whatever. It's just a really, really solid team with a lot of really tough mons that are just tough to deal with. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. He has a Salamence, a Mega Aggron, Darmanitan, Primarina, Hippowdon, Crobat, with Plazinium Z as a Z Crystal. So yeah, that is his Z Crystal. Heliolisk, Delmise, Gardevoir, Pangoro, and Terrakion, which are his other two like poison options as far as Z Crystals go. Nothing else really gets too much that benefits from it. So yeah, that's his team. Really scary. The biggest threat is honestly, I believe, Mega Aggron, mainly because it's just so freaking tough to deal with. Has an amazing ability and just really, really, really solid bulk. It just makes it tough to take down, dude. It's just tough to deal with. And it's, like I said, an amazing ability and filter. So like the 3 weaknesses it still has are doing even less to this thing. So yeah, it's just tough to deal with. It's the main thing there. And plus, it just gets a lot of like good offensive coverage moves, like all the elemental punches, good fighting coverage, rock, obviously. Power up punch. It gets, obviously heavy slam is the big one because it's one of the like heavier mons in the game, so that's tough to switch into. It's just really good mon, and my team doesn't have a whole lot for it. I'm finding out that my team is pretty rough when it comes to the steel types I've been facing. On paper I have a lot of stuff to deal with steel types, but like the 2 I've dealt with so far in this league, just wow. Cobalion and now Mega Aggron back to back is just like, bruh, calm down. Like the 2 steel types that just end my life. I've had to fight weeks 1 and 2. But yeah, anyway. Getting into the team I am bringing, of course, are bringing our LeBronzong. Main reason I picked it up was this dude had some really scary fairies and didn't have much to deal with them. So there's that. Moveset is Stealth Rock, Toxic, Earthquake, and Gyro Ball. Decided to go max defense, max physical defense, max HP. With heat proof, so I can take hits. I can actually live 1.5. I can't. I died at the second one. Scarf Darmanitan's Flare Blitz, so I can take 1 and kill with Earthquake most of the time because Darmanitan's defenses are crap. So I easily lived like the Scarf Darmanitan Flare Blitz with heat proof. That's the main reason I did that. And other than that, like, I didn't really have much to switch into it. So there's that. Next up, we have Webster, our Araquanid, with leftovers. Moves are Liquidation, Sticky Web, Soak, and Toxic with max HP and max Spadef, just so I can take hits better from like Gardevoir, Primarina, and stuff like that. For those of you who know what Soak Toxic does, then that is one of my stupid ways of dealing with Mega Aggron. Is Soak Toxic. For those of you who don't know, Soak changes the Pokemon to like a pure water type, and then Toxic, you can now Toxic it. So it's good for Toxapex. It's good for stuff like, you know, Mega Aggron. That's why I'm doing it. If this works, then wow. It's gonna be tough, but like I said, with a tough one like Mega Aggron to deal with, it's got to come up with creative ways to beat it, and this is what I came up with. It's one of my ways to deal with it. Next up, we have Norman Osborn, or Tornadus, rocking a Life Orb with the moves Taunt, Sludge Wave, Psychic, and Hidden Power Ice. Enough speed for Heliolisk, which is his fastest mon that's non-scarfed. So I just ran enough speed for that. Or besides Crobat, which I never outspeed anyway, so yeah. Obviously, Prankster Taunt is very nice, preventing anything from doing anything, because Prankster gives priority to Taunt. And, you know, I prevent setup, I prevent hazards, I prevent the status with that if I need to. Sludge Wave does with the fairies, Psychic does with Crobat and Terrakion and stuff like that. And then HP Ice, Oko's like non-bulky Salamence. Like if he's just max speed, max attack, or max special attack, it dies to Hidden Power Ice. So that's nice. Next up, we have Matthias, our Drapion, rocking a choice band with the moves Poison Jab, Knock Off, Earthquake, and Ice Fang. Enough speed for Timid Gardevoir. And the thing worth noting here is Earthquake and Ice Fang hit his entire team for neutral. So it's just really good coverage to have. And then Knock Off is very good to spam. And then Poison Jab for the fairies. Not much else to see here. Next up, we have Dahlia, our Mega Gardevoir, with Hyper Voice, Psyshock, Heal Bell, and Wish. Max HP, max defense, just so I can take hits. I have a feeling this is going to be one of those more long, drawn-out, like, gross battles that just takes a while and is not fun, but hey, we'll see. Hyper Voice is like, or rather, Wish is like, leaving that in because I don't edit. The main thing that Dahlia is here to do is just keep the team healthy, keep the team as much HP as possible. Jesus, I am so bad at the English language. What the hell is wrong with me? But yeah, just Wish passing, Heal Belling, just keeping the team alive. Not really here so much for offensive pressure, although if I get the opportunity, I can obviously, you know, click a really strong dual stab move with Hyper Voice and Psyshock. And then last but not least, we have Valiant, the Komao, rocking the leftovers once again, because I didn't really have a better item to put on him, honestly. But hey, there's that. With SD, Drain Punch, Poison Jab, and Dragon Claw. No speed invest, because I'll get to that in a second. I had to pretty much run max HP to ensure that I get enough recovery so I don't get 2-8 KO'd by Drain Punch, or by Heavy Slam from Mega Aggron. So if I ran no HP, even if I'm at +2, Drain Punch barely 2-8 KOs Mega Aggron if it's, you know, max HP, max special defense even, which is gross. But like the thing is, I had to be at max HP, or even after recovery, after my first +2 Drain Punch, the Heavy Slam still 2-8 KO'd. So it's, yeah. And it still has a chance to with max HP because Heavy Slam is gross. But hey, should I be able to get up my SD, my Como has a good chance of actually winning this game. And the thing is, though, I don't set up on a lot. The only things that I can like legitimately set up in front of are Delmise and non-Whirlwind Hippowdon. That's about it. Like, that's legitimately all I have like a good chance of setting up on, or like a Flare Blitz locked Darmanitan maybe. Other than that, like I don't have a whole ton of opportunities to set up, but if I am able to get Como set up, there's a really strong chance of Como being able to put in a lot of work. So we'll see what happens there. And yeah, that's it for the team, and I'll see you guys in the battle. My hair is tied up, so I can't do anything weird with it, so I just have to come up with some other way to be weird. I don't know, I'll do this. Whee! Alrighty, so getting into the battle, looking at the team that he brought, it's pretty much what I expected. Has the Heliolisk to deal with my Manaphy, the Mints to potentially set up and do dirty things, or just be a Scarf annoyance with like Scarf Moxie and that sort of thing. Mega Aggron, gross, obviously expected that. I have pretty much, you know, no real reliable way of dealing with it, but I have a few weird ways of dealing with it. Hopefully one of those will pull through. Dog. Terrakion, obviously just an absolute monster. Promarina hits like a truck, and then Delmise for spinny shenanigans and all that sort of thing. So, getting into the battle, I kind of had a feeling he would lead with Aggron because it's probably is going to be his rocker. Or Terrakion could be a rocker, but who runs rocks on Terrakion? Let's be honest. Leads rocks Terrakion. It's just a bad set. If you're still running that in 2018, get your head checked, boy. Nah, it can work. It can work. I'm just being rude. So yeah, I kind of have a feeling he would want to lead with Aggron because it actually puts in work against the team I brought, which is weird because this is the team I brought, knowing that he would bring in Aggron. So yeah, so I decided to lead with Araquanid. You know, predicting that because, hey, Araquanid's my way of dealing with Mega Aggron. So toxic, right, guys? But, alright. There's our graphical glitch for the week. We need to come up with a fun little thing for that. But he actually ends up leading with the Heliolisk, which pretty much makes it just not a good start. Just not a good start. So obviously I decided to go into Bronzong here because I could take any hit from this thing aside from like Specs Dark Pulses, and thankfully he just Volt Switches. My only electric resist on the team is Komao, and I didn't want that to get weakened early as it is one of my main win cons in this game. He is going to Volt Switch out into his Aggron. So we got our steals in here, and I'm just gonna go for the rocks because I want to get my rocks up as he does the same. Actually does a Mega, not really sure why. But hey, if I would have clicked Earthquake there, it would have looked real nice. Would have done way more damage than it's gonna do on this next turn, which is what I do. I just Earthquake because I want to see what he goes for. I want to see like the roll on it and that sort of thing. See if he goes for Earthquake or whatnot. And since he didn't bring the Darmanitan, I'm not like as pressured to keep this thing like as healthy as possible. And plus I have Wish Gardevoir in the back, so yeah, I felt like this was a, you know, fine turn to just scout what he goes for. So he just goes for a Fire Punch and does literally nothing because I am max Fizdef, heat proof, so that's nice. And I just get off the Earthquake and it probably does less, let's be honest. I mean, Jesus Christ. Aggron's just gross, man. Really, really underrated Draft League Mon. Really underrated, really solid. I like it a lot. It's just tough to kill, man. So he's going to switch out into his Delmise, which actually has a very good matchup against Bronzong, so good switch on his part. As I am just going to go into my Araquanid to try to get off my Soak Toxic BS, and yeah, so we it just didn't, you know, yeah, not the best turn. So far, my Araquanid shenanigans are not paying off. It's just not looking like it's going to work, so I obviously don't want to stay in here, don't feel like taking a Power Whip on this thing. I go into my Drapion, that's what the thing's called, and he just does go for the Power Whip, which I resist. If he went for Earthquake, that could have been bad, but thankfully he did just go for the Power Whip. Yeah, I'm able to just get off a pretty safe knockoff here. Nothing on his team really appreciates it other than Mega Aggron, so he actually goes into Salamence, which reveals the Intimidate. Like I said, I thought Moxie, like Scarf Moxie, would be much more terrifying, but thankfully he was Intimidate. And due to my choice band, I'm at neutral attack, and I get off the knockoff, and unfortunately I get the crit. Well, unfortunately for Flash, that definitely mattered. I feel bad about that. Like, it's just that was a rough turn, but you know, it's Pokemon, it happens. Nothing I can do about it. So I switch out here on the Terrakion. I obviously don't feel like taking an Earthquake. Just go into Bronzong. I can take pretty much every hit from this thing relatively well. There's not a whole lot he can do. Unless, of course, he clicked Earthquake because I am heat proof, which he doesn't know that yet, I don't think. He might know that based on the Fire Punch damage, but who knows. If he knew or not, I don't know yet. Anyway, he's going to switch out here back into his Delmise as I just go for the Gyro Ball because it's my best play. I could have gone for a Toxic there, but I didn't really need to. I just wanted to, you know, get the gyro ball off on Terrakion if he decided to stay in or whatever. Pretty much, you know, that tells me he was locked into that, so probably a Scarf Terrakion. And at this point, I realize that Dhelmise is the only thing my Kommo-o can even sort of hope to set up on his team. So I just go right into Kommo-o. And so he goes for a knockoff, which is going to do some respectable damage, sort of. But the main thing is it gets rid of my leftovers, which is just annoying for my Kommo-o to deal with. But, you know, I do have Drain Punch's recovery, so it's not the end of the world. He's going to go into his Primarina on my Kommo-o because, you know, why wouldn't you go into a Fairy on a Dragon that's ×4 weak to Fairy? But I'm able to get off a Sword Stance, and which is pretty free on the Switch. And, you know, my Kommo-o is in now at +2, which is what I wanted, which is what I needed. And, you know, it's looking pretty good for me right now. I don't have to predict the Switch. I don't want to, you know, risk him staying in, like, for whatever reason on the Primarina. I just didn't want to risk it. I didn't have to risk it, so I just go for the Poison Jab. You know, it was a pretty obvious switch, but hey, whatever. He goes into the Mega Aggron, and I'm able to get off a Drain Punch, which gets me back to full. Unfortunately, you know, it didn't really do much for me in terms of recovery, but hey, whatever. I am at full, so I can take this Heavy Slam relatively well. Sorry about the frame rate there. You know, it happens. It's, you know, 3DS recordings. They're a little bit janky. But I'm able to get off the second Drain Punch to finish off the Aggron. Not sitting at as much HP as I would like, but definitely still enough to do some work. For sure. So he goes back into the Terrakion, which, if he was banded, he had a chance to kill me with this close combat. But since I'm pretty sure he was Scarf, I want to say he was definitely Scarf. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't talked to him about the sets that he brought or anything, so I'm pretty sure he was just like Scarf Terrakion, and I'm able to take that close combat sort of well. Not really well, but I'm able to live it, which is all that really matters. And get off another Drain Punch and get myself right on back up to above half, which is fine. He does still have the Primarina, which is scary, but like I said, Poison Jab. Oko's most Primarinas that aren't like max HP, max defense, even at +2, like that probably still dies. So I just click the Poison Jab here. No need to predict the Dhelmise or the Heliolisk because they both died at +2 Poison Jab. Well, Heliolisk does. I don't know if Dhelmise does at the range it was at because it's only neutral. Who knows? But yeah, the Primarina goes down, and he goes into the Umbrella, which is the Heliolisk. I have no need to predict here because I just go for the Drain Punch. I have no need to predict this Volt Switch, mainly because I outspeed Dhelmise and could just click Dragon Claw next turn. And even if he does decide to double back, Dragon Claw rather kills the Heliolisk as well. So I had no reason to predict this. Just like if he went for like Thunderbolt or HP Ice, which I lived in HP Ice at that range, at the range I was at before this, so I lived barely lived like a Life Orb HP Ice, you know. But hey, I'm able to get the Dragon Claw off on the Dhelmise, and that goes down. Last up is the Umbrella. He's gonna go back into that and just fire off a Thunderbolt, which does not take out the Kommo-o. And I am able to just Drain Punch down the Heliolisk's remaining HP and pick up the nice 6-0 in week 2. I do want to, you know, just like shout out to Flash real quick. That crit on Salamence sucked. That would have been a much closer game had he especially had he gone for Dragon Dance that turn, or like some form of setup or whatever. It would have been a much closer game. That crit definitely mattered. Definitely played like a role in making this like much more one-sided than it actually should have been. Like, you know, but hey, that's Pokemon. What are you gonna do? Kommo putting in the finest of work. You know, it was my win con. That was my plan going in, was to get it set up, and luckily I was able to do that. And you know, it worked out rather well. I guess you could say. But yeah, I do, like I said, just, you know, sorry for that crit. It's Pokemon, it happens. But hey. Yeah, don't really have much else, so I'll leave you guys with that, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.